I'm surprising my friend Callum with a drive in this £1.1 million hypercar.
Speed! What is that?
That is a 770 horsepower Praga Bohema. And you're going to be driving it today on the Top Gear test track.
Yes! A race? Well, it's a race car. Is it a road car?
It's a road car that you take on track.
It looks like a race car.
Sorry. As you said you, but you meant we.
Bit of bad news actually, Will. There's only one spot. Praga have been kind enough to invite the team here, and unfortunately they haven't got space for you to drive the car.
But there's back seats though.
Well, look, the point is that you drive a 703 horsepower BMW.
704.5.
Whatever. You drive that BMW, it's very fast, so we thought we'd give Callum, who drives this box, an opportunity in the Praga.
There was one catch that Callum needed to agree to. Cars like the Bohema are not for posers, they're for driving properly. So Scott's going to do a benchmark lap, and if Callum can't get within 10 seconds of his time, he drives the PT Cruiser for a week.
I hate that car! Okay, deal. 10 seconds.
Put your hands out.
The challenge was set, so I carefully moved Callum's car out of the way while he got comfortable in the Praga.
Oh my word. This thing is insane. What does that do? Is that the go button? Oh. Did I break it already?
This was my first time driving anything remotely fast, but this car was another level. I was pretty stoked to be behind the wheel.
Is that the wheel? The start button is on the ceiling.
I was strapped in and ready to go, so I lined the Praga up ready for my first lap.
I'm actually incredibly sad. I don't care.
You know, it's only like a one-off hypercar prototype being driven for the first time by anyone.
This thing is terrifying.
I cannot explain how awesome it was to drive a car like this around the Top Gear test track, something I've been dreaming of since I was a kid. This track is very special to car guys.
I feel like it's got way more power than I know what to do with. It's so direct in the steering. It is absolutely terrifying.
So Callum's going round like really slowly. I think that adds to my sadness. So I think I might have pushed it a bit further by now. Maybe too far.
Although it may look pretty pedestrian, I was driving way quicker than I ever had before, so I wasn't talking much.
Callum's so focused driving the car right now that he's not spoken for the last 5 minutes while we've been doing these practice laps. When you get in a quick car like this, it is overwhelming. There's so much going on, it's so quick. While Callum is getting to grips with the Bohema, let me tell you a little about it. Power comes from a GTR-derived twin-turbo V6 with around 700 horsepower. And thanks to its carbon monocoque, it weighs less than a tonne. I've raced in Praga's race cars before.
Scott Mansell in the 85, who started at the back of the grid, is now leading.
So they know a thing or two about downforce. The aerodynamics was signed off in an F1 wind tunnel, and they're claiming GT3 race car levels of downforce. It's Praga's first ever road-going hypercar. Only 89 are going to be built, and they'll cost £1.1 million plus tax each. You cannot believe the actual speed that it's got when you start getting up in the RPM.
Callum pulled up after his first drive, and I couldn't wait to hear how good the car was.
This thing is insane.
I really hope you enjoyed it, Callum.
I did. I did.
I enjoyed it just as much.
Now it was time to find out what time he needed to get within 10 seconds of. Scott got behind the wheel of the Praga and he wasn't hanging about.
Whoa. The brakes on it.
Insane. That turbo.
Oh. I'm not getting anywhere near your time.
Once Scott was up to speed, you could really tell how much downforce the Bohema had, but the most surprising thing was definitely the braking performance.
So, the balance is really good. Turns in as you want it to. The rotation through the corner is amazing. And in the quick stuff, you can really feel that downforce. It's, you know, almost single seat spec. I just love driving these things.
This is a rocket ship. It's a rocket ship.
Do you know how I like speed, grip, all of that stuff?
What?
This has got it all. Oh!
Very similar times. The best one there was a 37.5. This isn't the like Top Gear layout, so you can't compare it to that. This is just the bottom loop. So Callum needs to get within 10 seconds of that.
I think I'm going to be driving this PT Cruiser. He's a maniac. Absolute maniac.
I'm sorry, Will. That's so much fun.
Yeah, timing's quite fun actually as well. You know, you've got to get it right. You have to be precise. It's a similar art to driving. You need to get within 10 seconds of a 37.5.
Callum knew what he needed to beat, so he headed back out with Praga's test driver.
Now I had to get within 10 seconds, but I didn't want to break an extremely rare car, so I built up slowly.
Let me say something.
No, I'm trying to figure it out.
Ooh, what's he done?
That was 55.
55? 18 seconds. Yeah. Callum wasn't pushing the car hard enough, changing up too early, being cautious on the brakes, and not carrying enough speed through the corners. And I was confident he'd be driving that PT Cruiser. What? 52? 52? Yeah. I'm not quivering yet.
My times were well off where I needed to be, but I was starting to grow in confidence. The Bohema had way more grip than I knew what to do with.
Off gear! Fifth gear, through the follow through!
What was that, Will?
That was a 50.
A 50?
Yeah.
We should put some kind of time limit on this. Stop!
I was edging closer and closer to the time I needed it, but I just needed to find that extra couple of seconds.
Joseph's just explaining next to me, I'm not pushing the brake pedal nearly hard enough. In a normal car, you just push it and there's assistance and it slows you down. In this, it's got way more braking potential than I thought it had. Joseph kept telling me, harder, harder, harder. Harder, okay.
He's now down to a 48.9.
No!
Who drives it if he doesn't? Is it just me?
No, I wouldn't be that cruel, Will. Although, actually, yes, no, you. It's you. I don't know why, Will, but whenever Callum smiles like that, I just get annoyed. Yeah. I don't like to see him happy.
That was insane.
You're happy to drive the PT Cruiser after doing your
For
laps?
driving this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, he's in.
I bet you everyone at home would take that deal. Drive a PT Cruiser for a week for, 6 or 7 laps in this. Joseph said I was good though.
Did he? Yeah. After what he saw before? You want to hear the bad news?
Oh no.
You had a 47.5 to me.
Okay.
How did it feel?
62? No, like, I was in it with this guy, right? And the speed he carried through the corner and the power on the brakes.
Okay, well, I'll put you out your misery. You did beat it.
No! I did 10 seconds!
You did a 47.2.
Yeah, come on!
You scraped it.
Yes.
I'm putting it down to the car.
It's
all the car.
At least he hasn't got any champagne this time.
Come on.
Yeah. Spray in my face again. Well done, mate. You haven't got to go in the PT Cruiser.
That's a relief.
But I think it might be me now, so...
Yeah.
Thank you, Praga, for having us. This is a dream come true. Absolutely insane car. If you can afford one, buy one, I guess.
5 stars.
5 stars, yeah. Worth every penny.
Oh!